Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So I'm gonna do something different with the vlog today, or I guess this weekend. It's Mother's Day weekend, so we're gonna bring you along to kind of show you what we do on a normal weekend, or like Mother's Day weekend. We do have some stuff to do. Today is Friday, and we do have a few things before we actually go to dinner.
We're doing dinner on a Friday because like if you try to get a reservation for Sunday, it's just crazy everywhere.
Yep.
So we're gonna do something else on Sunday that we'll tell you about later.
Yep. And bring you along with some other plans I have for this weekend. I'll bring you along and show you kind of...
Yeah, I don't know what it is. He keeps telling me we're going somewhere and I don't know what we're doing, so...
No, I just told her we have to pick up something from Joann's, and that's...
and I don't know what we're doing at Joann's, so we'll find out.
Yep. So, and I hope you enjoy this kind of vlog. If you do, let us know. If not, then... I don't know, we'll maybe not do it again, but like I said, this is going to be a Mother's Day weekend vlog. And
also, take a look at these pretty tulips that I got from Target. They're pretty. And they're actually like, they're not fully open yet, so they're from my mom.
Yep. And then you got little Missy cat down here. She wants to eat them.
She can't though. Tulips are like really bad for cats.
Say hi.
So I had to like hide them.
Yep. All right.
Because she will try to eat them.
All right, look out. Alright, so here we go. We're going to Joann's. I'll show you what we got, but we're gonna get it, but I want to look around too. So one thing I learned today, guys, is that Joann's actually has baking stuff. Where you can actually get like baking pans and stuff. So they got some cool little cookie cutters. They can make like a indentation. It's kind of cool. And then they have like your chocolates to melt that you would need to like make some cake pops, or if you want to make like a chocolate dip, they have the chocolates for it, different colors. They have like silicone trays. It's pretty cool.
And don't quote me 100%, but like just judging by some of the pricing here, it seems a little bit cheaper than Michael's. I like Michael's, but Michael's can be a little hefty on the price. So some of the stuff is like...
And like it has different things than Home Goods. Home Goods doesn't really have all this. But it's kind of cool. Look, they have like these little spoons and forks if you're making like chocolate dipped something. Like if you're doing like cookie cakes, or if you're doing like pretzels. Right, you see this? So you dip the chocolate and you use these little spoons and forks to like take them out without getting it everywhere.
And this is really cool. This is like an ice pop mold. So you can make your own ice pops. And it's like, it looks like the ones that they sell in the store. Like a long popsicle mold. Huh. So you can make like your own pops at home.
That's kind of cool. Yeah. Well, that's cool. You got squeeze bottles. I know the little things make me get me excited, but like squeeze bottles.
I think that's for baking.
Yeah. So like if you had like tempered chocolate or something and you wanted to like make a ribbon, use that. Or even this. This is cool. It's like a little spoon and you drip down chocolate. And they have some like actual bread baking stuff. So like they have like a brush or whatever, but like they have the lathe here. So like if you want to make indentations in your dough, this blade will make it for you. You can cut up dough with this. They have bench scraper.
Oh, this is cool. A gnocchi.
And they have a Danish whisk, which is good for making like shaggy doughs. I didn't realize Joann's had all this stuff. I always get it off of Amazon. And then you gotta wait a few days. Next time I'm just gonna come here and get it.
And there's a gnocchi cutter. Like I actually made gnocchi over the summer with my cousin's wife, and
yeah. Well, that's cool.
And that would have come in handy.
Oh, you just like, so you make the dough and you just roll it to make the indentations. That's really cool. Dough press. Oh, another thing we found is they have these cake spinners. So like if you're like trying to like decorate a cake, you just kind of, this is where you get it from if you're ever looking for it.
And they also have like a bunch of like these plain tumblers. Like I'm a crafter, so if you're somebody that's, you do a lot of like Cricut stuff or crafting things, they have all these blank tumblers. And they also have like another aisle down here where they have a bunch of like vinyl and things like that for like crafting. So they have a lot of the same stuff Michael's does. I do take it back on some of the pricing because some of the stuff is like still a premium price.
It's not expensive, but it's not cheap. So it's like the same price as you'd get on Amazon.
Yeah, or per se Michael's.
Or
So
like, yeah.
Yeah, check it out though.
So this is what I got from Joann's. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. It's kind of bright outside. But as you can see, it is a baguette pan. So I can start making baguettes. So my plan for tomorrow is to make some French bread. And I'm gonna use this to cook it in. Oh, and then Baz also got these cream savers. They're like strawberry cream savers. They used to be back in the 90s, 2000s. And we haven't had them in a while, so we saw them in the store and we bought them. All right, errand number 2 was to grab some fresh water from Worldwide Corals. So yeah, got 10 gallons for the fish tank that was running low. So, and the Worldwide Corals, let me see if I can zoom into it. It's right there. So Worldwide Corals is actually a local fish store that we have here in Orlando. They do a lot of events and they're pretty big. There you got two locations. They got one in Winter Park and then one over by SeaWorld. So this one's like the smaller store, and it's like this is more closer to me and easier to get to. And then the one in Orlando has a bigger store, bigger variety, a lot more stuff there. But if I ever need anything, like when I was first setting up my tank, I was going to the one at SeaWorld, by SeaWorld. But now when I just need fresh water or some food, I just come to this one in Winter Park. But yeah, so I need to like do some maintenance on the tank this weekend. So I'll show you what I do with that. But yeah, got my fresh water and now we're gonna go get some dinner. Well, it's the next day, guys. So yesterday, I'm not sure where we left off. I think we were just coming out of the fish store. Yeah, so I did get the fresh water. I haven't done that yet. I'm gonna want to make like a little video on what I do when I like refill the water and everything. I did forget to get some salt water, so I might need to go back and get salt water. So I might put that in another video where I actually do maintenance of the fish, and then you can also see the new little critters I have in there. But yeah, we're gonna continue with our Mother's Day vlogs, weekend vlog, I guess. And so today, what I actually got I'll show you later in the video what I ended up getting at Joann's. I'm surprised they had it. But I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but no, I did mention it. I showed you guys. So yeah, so today we're actually gonna be making the bread. I have a little recipe here. Not sure if you guys can see that, or yeah, like I just have little notes on what to do. But yeah, so I'll show you how I do things. The recipe calls for some bread flour, so I gotta weigh that out. Some instant yeast, and then so the recipe actually makes 2 loaves, but I want to make four loaves, so I'm gonna do 2 batches of them. And then highly recommend you guys get a scale whenever you're baking. Scales are more accurate when you're measuring out flour and ground sugar and stuff. So like, always use a scale. I got my recipe, I got my mixing bowls. So we're gonna start. Oh, and she's my little sous chef. She just likes to see what we're doing in here, and she's gonna give us company. But yeah, say hello. Say hello. No? No hellos? There she is. Say hello. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna first measure out my flour. Since I'm actually I need, hold on one sec. All right, a little bit of hurricane there. Sorry about that. I actually forgot to get some measuring spoons and measuring cups. I use a silicone one sometimes, so I don't know if you see it. The good thing about it is like you can pop things out and pop it in. So you just pop it out. But yeah, so we're gonna start measuring the flour. The recipe calls for 225 grams, that's water, 350 grams of flour. So I'm gonna measure, okay, So I'm gonna tear that. Bring this over here. So we're gonna measure out exactly, what was it, 350 grams of bread flour. Yeah, so I'm using bread flour. So you can use all-purpose if you have it and you don't have bread flour. All-purpose will work fine as well, I think. The only difference is like bread flour has more protein, a higher protein. I think the bread flour is like 16 grams of protein versus like 11 or 9, something like that. I might have my numbers wrong, sorry. Like, this is very off the cuff, as I would say. But yeah, so you can use all-purpose, but I'm gonna use bread flour because I have more of it and I want to use it more than use it up, kind of. But yeah, bread flour is probably the preferred flour anyways when you're making bread, right? Bread flour is gonna, with the higher protein, you're gonna have a stronger gluten structure, and the bread's gonna be a little bit more chewier than and then the all-purpose flour, you get a little pillowier, a little softer structure because the protein's not, the bonds aren't that strong. But yeah, so sorry, I'm gonna measure this out. 350 grams of bread flour. So I got 350. 351. So that's 350. Oh. You saw it, 351 grams. So another thing when you're baking bread, at least, what you care more about is like percentages, like baker's percentage. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. But baker's percentages essentially is a way for you to measure ratios out of moisture to flour. So like if you have a 40% water to, if it's a 40% hydrated flour, 40% hydrated dough, you're essentially gonna take whatever amount of flour you have, and 40% of that was gonna be the amount of water you had. So it doesn't have to be exact with bread. It's not like you're baking like a cake or something. But you want to make sure like the moisture to flour ratio is correct for the bread you're making. But like I said, like it also depends on the time of day you're making it, the temperature outside, the humidity outside. Because if there's water in the air, the dough will absorb some of that, and so now like if you put like 30 grams of water, it might have soaked in a gram of water from the air, and now you have really 31 grams of water instead of 30 grams. So it's not an exact science. There is some benefit to trying to be exact as possible, but like nothing catastrophic is gonna happen if you're off by like a gram or two. Right, so I did get the flour in there. So now I need to measure out 225 grams of water. I might do that off camera because I need to go to the sink for that, and I need to get a container. I'll show you once I put the 225 grams of water in that bowl. Okay, so I added the water, so this is kind of the first bowl. I added 350 grams of the bread flour, 225 grams of water, and I'm gonna mix this. I also on the side mixed in 30 grams of water with 9 grams of instant yeast, and I'm just sitting this on the side for now while I mix the dough. I'm actually gonna use my Danish whisk. I haven't used this yet, so hopefully it works out. Otherwise I'll switch to my hands, but I wanna try it out. So you just kind of just mix it until it becomes a little shaggy mess.
And you can get a lot of this stuff on Amazon, or you can also get it at your local stores like Joann's, where we were the other day.
Yeah,
or
apparently.
Michael's. So, but yeah, like Amazon as well. If you like don't have time, I need it mailed to you or whatever.
You can kind of see it's starting to come. It's like coming a little shaggy. Remember to scrape the sides down. Want all this flour to get in.
Looks like it's working pretty well. The whisk.
Yeah.
Looks a little stronger than your traditional whisk. Like it's not as flimsy.
Yeah.
So.
You can kind of like Don't worry, I washed my hands. So, I'll show you what it looks like when it's done, so you're not sitting here watching me mix. So, we mixed the dough. So I got 2 of these. I'll mix the first one and the second one. One tip when you're mixing with the Danish whisk, right? I don't know if you see it, but like, you see how it might get stuck in there. And so if you want to get it off without it getting stuck in your fingers, good tip is to like, just wet your hand before you touch it, and will keep the dough from sticking to your hand. And you'll see me when I actually start to mix with my hand. You mix with a wet hand so that way it doesn't stick. Alright, so now we have the bowls. We also had our little yeasty slurry thing mixed here, great. So now we're gonna dump this in here and then mix with our hands. And you're gonna just dump that in there, right? Try to get all the little yeasty buddies out. What I do is I'll have like a thing of water and I'll just like dunk my hands in there before I go in. And so now what you want to do is incorporate this really well. All that yeast into the dough. So you just go in with your hands and just squeeze and turn, squeeze and turn. And like that's one thing about doing it with your hands is like you start to feel how the dough is feeling when you're doing it. Right, so like
yeah, you kind of know like where it's at. Whereas if you're using like a spoon or like a whisk or whatever, you don't know
so
if the dough's ready or not, really.
Just keep mixing until it's. See, it's gonna get sticky. It's a sticky dough, so like I mean, you can try as much as you want to not get the water. Use the water trick, but. I think that's good for this one. Let's just make sure, yeah. And one thing I do, I don't know if anybody else likes it when you're making bread, the smell of the yeast, like, I don't know, it reminds you of a nice bakery, like that bakery smell. Just gonna put that on there, swap these out. Alright.
And then you're just gonna repeat.
Yeah, I'm gonna repeat this for the other one. So like this is a good, like you'll see it's kind of like it's sticky. I mean I could probably add some more flour to get it to not be so sticky. But as the gluten forms, it'll become less sticky. Right now it's just sticky because the gluten hasn't formed yet. But yeah, so we're gonna do the same thing on this one. And alright, so of course, like anything else, I forgot to do something before mixing the dough, and that was to add salt. Yeah, it tells you to like put salt in there and let it kind of like sink in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put 9 grams of salt in here, and then kind of let it sit for like maybe 2 minutes maybe, just like let it penetrate, and then I'll actually go back in and mix it with my hands. But yeah, we need 9 grams.
And honestly, guys, like I've learned through Dan, like it is a lot better to do the scale measurements when you're baking. I feel like it comes out with a better product. Like when you're just using cups and things like that, it really isn't an accurate.
Well, the thing is like flour and powdery stuff. There's a lot of air trapped in between.
Right.
And so, if you try to like use just a cup, like you're probably using actually like 3/4 of the cup is actual flour, and then 1/4 is actually flour.
Yeah.
So like you don't really get a whole cup, but everyone's measuring cup is also different. Everyone's flour is different. So like, a cup of flour for one recipe might not be a cup of flour depending on what cup size you're using. Or like how it's made or whatnot.
Yeah, and obviously, like, if you don't have the scale and you use cups, like, I mean, I use cups and things like that sometimes too. If you're, like, in a rush and you want something fast.
Yeah, and like I said, with bread, it's more of a ratio of all your ingredients. So, like, if the ratios are right, you can kind of be certain that it will be okay, as long as the ratios are right. But like I said, like, the cup, measuring, like, powdered sugar or, like, sugar or anything that's kind of like more of a fluid, then it's like a solid fluid, if you will. They just don't, there's no way to tell how much of the flour is actually in a cup in terms of like volume.
Right.
So the only way to really do it is by weight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit and then mix it, and then actually I might cut it here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix it, and then I'm gonna cover it and let it sit for 20 minutes. So this process of letting the flour sit for a little bit and just kind of like relax is called autolyzing. So this is what you do before you actually start, like, you know, like developing the gluten. All it does is it sits there and lets the gluten kind of relax before you start to build it. And this just helps the bread be a little softer when you finally bake it. So yeah, I'm gonna cover these after I mix it with the salt in there with for about like 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna come back and I'll show you what we do when I come back after 20 minutes.
So while Dan is making his bread over there on the other side, I'm actually preparing some snacks because we're actually gonna have a beach date tomorrow. So I know we didn't mention that earlier in the video, but we're kind of making the bread. Some of the bread we're gonna use for sandwiches, and then I'm actually putting together some snacks. So I actually got this caddy. I think I ordered it off Amazon, but it's really cool because you can use it for like the beach. You can use it at the movies, like if you have a little movie night at your house, or just like snacking time at night when you're watching TV, or it can be used for a lot of different things, road trips. It's really useful. It comes with these little plastic containers inside that you just take out, wash when you're done. So we already had some snacks in there, and then I'm gonna go ahead and refill them. I got a lot of like favorite day snacks from Target. They have a bunch of different like trail mixes, sweet and salty, like this one's sweet, the Monster one. This one is, I'm gonna try this one. I haven't had this before, bowl barbecue. We have these milk chocolate grams, a s'mores mix, trail mix, some gummy rings, which really cool fact about some of these gummies is that they use beef gelatin instead of pork. So if you're worried about pork being in your food, or like pork gelatin, you can use those. Not all of them, but most of the favorite day gummies. So I'm gonna go ahead and replenish the snack caddy that we're gonna use tomorrow at the beach, and then I'll show you the finished product. So these little waffle cones I highly recommend them, again, from Target. They have like a s'more flavored one, and then they have a strawberry flavored one. The strawberry one tastes a lot better than the s'more one, in my opinion. I also like strawberry flavored things. But yeah, really cool snack, great for movie nights or watching TV or anything like that, but highly recommend. It's like $5 a bag. So this is our finished product. I refilled some of them, and then I was kind of short on the milk chocolate pretzels, so I just added more trail mix, put some gummies, more gummy, like gummy snacks, and then just refilled everything. So yeah, looks good. This is good, more of like a dessert. I guess you can say like sweet snacks. And then we're probably gonna have like chips and salty things. And then the sandwiches, that'll be like our sweet or salty, savory things. But yeah, highly recommend the Snack Caddy because you can use it for a lot of different places and it has many different uses, especially if you have kids, because you can pack like different types of snacks that they like. So yeah, see you in a bit. What you do when you're waiting for your dough to rise, play Elden Ring. And stop for a nap. Our little sous chef is taking a nap on the windowsill. She's probably just basking in the sun, to be honest. Probably feels really good. Also, Publix cookies. If you know, you know. And then Chips Ahoy. And we're gonna bring some fruit before we get comments like these. It's all snacking foods and unhealthy foods. We're gonna bring fruit too. My parents are planning to bring a watermelon. And I'm gonna pack some blueberries. But yeah, these are some more goodies. And he's back.
All right, so I let this sit for 20 minutes after I mixed the salt. Remember I mixed the salt, but like as I fold it in, it should incorporate itself into it. So, but now I'm back. So this is after 20 minutes of it just auto-leasing.
Oh wow, you can already tell it's less sticky.
Yeah.
Looking at it.
So now what I need to do is, it's called stretch and fold, and it's a strength folding exercise, I guess. I don't know what to call it. It's a strength folding process, and you really just grab the dough, pull it up, and fold it. But I need to get my hands wet. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna start stretch and folding. You grab this end, you lift it up, and you bring it down. You move it, stretch it, and bring it down. And you keep doing this for a little bit. And what it's doing is it's creating strength in the dough. And this will kind of help that salt sort of like get incorporated in, so like it's not pulling anymore. So now you just kind of like shape it into like a ball shape. Again, fold down, fold, go down, flip it down, and just kind of trying to get some surface tension in the dough as well while you're doing this. So I think that's good. And so we're gonna do the same thing with the other one. But as you can see, like, not a lot of it's sticking to my hand because I didn't wet it. So I'm gonna wet it again.
Did you put olive oil in the?
No.
Oh, okay.
So it's just flour, water, and some yeast and salt. So whoosh. See how it's sticking.
All right, he's gonna go ahead and do that.
Yep. Okay, so we got these two. You can kind of see what it looks like. It doesn't really look like much yet, so we're gonna let it sit for another 30 minutes. I'm gonna cover it with the cloche. I got this little thing here, and just kind of like cover it. Trying to make sure like it's covered. I just kind of put my folder on here to kind of weigh it down. You don't want it to get sick. And we just let it sit there for another 30 minutes. Okay, so it's been roughly 30 minutes, and you can kind of see it's starting to relax a little bit. You can see this one's a little bit better. So I'm gonna do that again, the tuck in the pull and fold, and I'm gonna do the same exact thing I did, and I'm gonna do it again, and then I'm gonna let it sit for an hour, cover it, and let it sit for an hour. That's kind of the plan going forward. So I'm gonna do that now.
And so I'm actually going to be making this like cold pasta, like pasta salad, but I'm doing it like with pesto. So these are the ingredients I'm using. I'm gonna be using, I have cherry tomatoes, I have bow tie pasta, or I learned it's called farfalle pasta. And then I got these little fresh mozzarella pearls. It's basically like mozzarella, but they're already in the little balls. So you can just throw that in. Here's my pesto sauce. I got this, I think I got it from either Walmart or maybe Aldi's. I think Aldi's. And then some Parmesan. So all you do is basically just boil the pasta and then you just mix in the pesto and then mix in the rest of these ingredients and like add your salt and pepper to taste, and it's really easy. It's supposed to come out really good. So I'll show you the finished product when it's done. All right, the next thing is sandwiches. So I have all my little tools here. Meats, cheeses, foil to wrap them up, bread, mayonnaise, and mustard, really simple.
All right, so I'm not sure if I recorded the last piece, but I did do another, I did 2 stretch and folds, and after the second one I did let it rest for an hour, so it kind of doubled in size. So the total amount of time it's been resting between like when it got mixed and to now it's been 2 hours. So I got both of these. This one I'm gonna cover while I work on the other one. And so this one we're gonna throw it out onto my little work surface. I have a little silicone mat. I kind of like working on these because it's easier to clean up, and it has little measurements on the sides, so I can measure out what I'm doing. And yeah, so we're gonna take this out and we're gonna shape it into our doughs. All right, so I'm gonna flour the surface, slightly flour it, just so it doesn't stick too much in this. Right, so slightly flour, and we're gonna take our dough out. I recommend using a dough scraper. It helps you kind of like get everything out. Dough scrapers are your friend when you're making dough, so it helps you kind of. Okay. Then we're gonna kind of like let the air out a little bit, and we're gonna stretch it out. And so, like I said, having this is nice because I can do. I think it's a 9 by 12. So that's roughly. Oh, this is centimeters. That's the problem. Well, we're just gonna guess it.
Well, is the top one? The top one is not centimeters, right?
No, I think it's all centimeters.
All centimeters?
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, before we shape it out in its final shape, we gotta. Right. That looks about good. We're gonna divide it in half. So. That looks about half to me. Okay. And then we're gonna make this into a little pouch. So we're making these into little balls here. Okay. That looks good to me. I'll move that to the side. Same thing with this one. It's like first like that. Bring this inside. Making little presets. So I'm gonna do this again. The second batch of dough, kind of.
Yeah, because you're trying to do 4, right?
Yeah.
4 baguettes.
So, trying to keep the seam side down. So we're kind of like trying to shape them into little balls for now. Okay, got this one. Put that there. Do it again for the second half. Should be good. Like I said, the good thing about the dough hook is it's actually like rounded on the edge, so it can kind of go in the bowl. If you use the bench scraper, it's solid, so it's kind of hard to like get in there. So like.
But maybe the bench scraper is like good for cutting.
It's good for cutting, but I mean, it says it in the name. It's a bench scraper, so you're supposed to scrape your bench. So like, if you want to get under the dough, this is better. This is like more versatile when you're working with dough. But like this won't actually scrape anything off your bench. But this is great for like if you're trying to just like see how it's like kind of going with the shape of the bowl. And then you kind of see like the only thing that's left is like dry dough. Let me just stack that together.
So he's gonna go ahead and do the same thing with the other two, right?
Yes. Alright, so I got my dough balls. So what I'm gonna do is let the gluten relax a little. So what I do is I'm gonna take the bowls that they were in and just cover them. Like that. And then let them sit for 5 minutes, I'd say like 15 minutes. And we'll come back on in 15 minutes and they should be poofed back up and the gluten should be relaxed. And then when we come back, we'll do the final shaping of the actual baguettes and then we'll go take it from there.
So this is kind of what we're working with. I just got like the pre-made pesto. And then it has like the mozzarella balls. I added my own little spices, like I did do salt and pepper. I added some chili flakes and some garlic powder just to give it a little extra oomph. But I'll let Dan try it and see what he thinks, if I need to add anything to it. But it's a nice light salad, pasta salad for the beach. And it's gonna be cold, like I'll put it in the fridge overnight. I am gonna add the tomatoes tomorrow, just because I don't know if anybody else has this problem, but like I feel like when you put tomatoes in the fridge and you take them out, they kind of taste a little bit, like have like a metallic taste. I don't know if that's just me. So I'm just gonna leave the tomatoes out until in the morning and put them in the morning into the salad. So that way I don't get that metallic taste. But yeah, we'll let you know how it turns out.
All right, so we're back. It's been about 15 minutes that we let these proof. So like you can kind of see they doubled in size. You can see a visible difference in the size. So now we're gonna make them into little like baguette shapes and we're gonna put them into our baguette pan. So we're gonna do a little bench scraper to kind of move these out the way. Okay. So we're gonna want to like shake this out. You want to stretch it out a little bit. So again, we're trying to get to that 9 by 12 shape. It's okay if it's like, try to like push it out. You know, we'll do this like this for now. Alright, so what we're gonna do, I know this is not 9 by 12, right? This is more like maybe 9 by 6, or not even. So we'll do it a different way. You want to go from far away from you and roll it in and tuck it in. So you're gonna like make it into a little. As you're rolling it, you kind of like create a little bit of surface tension. Then seams on the bottom. And then you just kind of work it out. I should put some flour. Just keep rolling it until you kind of see it's starting to like take shape. You don't want to like a little air bubble in there. Just try to pop it out. I think that looks good. Just like try to get the ends a little more uniform. Alright, that's one, and then we just plop it to our tin. So I'm gonna do the rest of the 3, and then we're gonna leave them in the tray for another 45 minutes to an hour to let them proof in the actual tray. And so they're gonna rise again, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what that looks like.
And the tray is really good because it maintains the shape.
Yep. All right, so it's been about, what was it, like an hour? 45 minutes. It's been 45 minutes. As you can see, our actual loaves have kind of like poofed out. I was hoping that they'd be a little longer, but I'm gonna hope that like as they bake, maybe they'll like stretch while they're baking. I probably could wait another 15 minutes to let it stretch out a little more, but I'm just gonna do it now. I'm sticking it now. But you can see they're poked. Like I poke them to kind of spring back, so they're ready to go. So one thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use a lathe. So or a lame, I think it's called a lame. It's essentially just a razor. You can also just use like a serrated knife to do the same thing. Like a serrated knife, you just slash in there. This is just so that it gives the bread somewhere to go as it rises, so it doesn't like break. So you just make little slashes. Alright, that's all we gotta do there. I need to get a better one of these. This is I don't understand this design, cause it's you gotta like open a little circle and then like
Kind of freaks me out.
Drops in.
Yeah.
And then you like close it. Like it was kind of inexpensive. I don't know how many times I was gonna make bread, to be honest, but like. Yeah, like, and then you just close it and you make sure like when you shake it, it doesn't like come out. Unless I'm using that wrong. If I'm using it wrong, let me know, because that's how I think I'm supposed to do it, but it doesn't seem the safest thing. The next thing we're gonna do, I got a bottle of water, just regular water. I'm gonna spray these, so like spray them a little bit. And what this is gonna help it do is create a crust and allow it to steam up in there in the oven while they bake. So these are gonna go in the oven. If you want to pan me, the actual oven is at 375. I already preheated it. Let me take you along. So at the bottom, I don't know if you can see it. There's a, there we go. I put a tray in there with some water in there. And what that's gonna do is produce some steam. And that steam's gonna help like the crust form a little bit better as the bread bakes. And so yeah, so this is a 375 and we're gonna bake it for 20 to 30 minutes. And I'll show you after what happens after we put it in. All right, so we're gonna stick them in. There you go. Close her up. And so here's the bread. I just took it out of the oven. You can kind of see these kind of got a little too dark. These are on the top, but you kind of hear it. I just took these out, so they're kind of hot. So these are the bottom ones, so they didn't get as brown. But like I think these are more correct. And then this one's like our little one. But yeah, so we're done. We're just gonna let these rest for a little bit before I start wrapping them up. They look good. And yeah, so I think I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna end this, at least this section of it, because the bread's done. It took a day. It didn't take a day. It took like a few hours. What I will say is like, yeah, it takes a few hours, but there's like good like hour breaks in between. So like it's a lot more waiting for things to get done than actually like 4 hours of active cooking. And then what I normally do is I'm just gonna cover this with a piece of a towel while it kind of cools down, just so it doesn't dry out. But yeah, you can kind of see if I can get this one at least. See the bottom. So these are gonna be good. Maybe I'll cut them up. When we cut them, I'll video it. But like, if we don't, I'll let you know how they came out. But yeah, thanks for joining me on this journey on making my first set of French bread. I know there's some more things I can do to learn and get better at least shaping them and like maybe putting it in the center. But yeah, see you in a bit. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention. I know I said 20 minutes at 375, I believe it was. I actually pumped it up after 20 minutes up to 465 for another 15 minutes. So the total bake time actually ended up being more closer to 30 minutes than 20 minutes. But for the last 10, I did pump it up. And I think that's why some of them got, like the top ones got a little more brown. But yeah, so next time I'll probably just keep it at maybe 400 for like 25 minutes and maybe we'll get good color and not get the dark colored bread. But yeah, just 30 minutes at 375 to 400. Just depends on your oven too. All right, hello, back to our little...
Good morning.
Good morning, yeah, it's kind of early. Today's beach day, so our last day for this Mother's Day weekend, we're going to go to the beach. Last night, you saw the bread, it came out pretty good. We had it last night, I had it with some olive oil and some Italian seasoning, and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And it turned out, I liked it, and we ended up giving, yeah, so as you saw, I made 4. Just heads up, not all 4 was for us. I gave 1 to my parents and 1 to Faz's parents, so just like a little bread delivery service to let them try and see what they thought. But yeah, so it turned out good. I'll make some more later and see how I tweak the recipe a little. I think there's some tweaking that I could do to make it a little bit better.
I thought it was really good.
But yeah, so today, like I said, we're going to go to the beach. We already got our coolers packed. We got our coolers packed. That's all we really need.
Snacks.
We got my little Crush tuxedo on. But yeah, we're gonna go to New Smyrna. I don't know how many are familiar. It's a little south of Daytona. It's more of like the family beach. If you think Daytona's more the party beach, New Smyrna, at least it used to be. We haven't been in like years.
It's been a while.
So I don't know how it's gonna be when we get there. But from when, as long as we've been here, it's been like the family beach. So yeah, we're gonna go there. It's about a 45-minute drive. Since we're going to the beach, I will be swapping this camera out for the GoPro. So, you know, GoPro has a little different video quality. So if it changes, that's why. And the audio is a little bad on the, but we'll try to see as much as we can get. Like I said, it's a Mother's Day thing. So we're going with her mom. And I don't know how comfortable she's going to be on camera. So I'll see how much we actually film at the beach. But it
might just be more of like
the scenery, beach. Yeah. And maybe us just being in the water. But yeah, it's hot, so that's one of the great things about being in Florida. But next time you see us, we're gonna be on the beach. All right. So yeah, like I said, our next shot would be at the beach. So we just got here. I think like 45 minutes to get here. It's actually high tide right now, so we weren't able to park. And it's kind of, I don't know if it's picking up, but it's a little gloomy right now.
It's kind of nice actually. It's breezy.
It's a little chilly. Yeah, this is New Smyrna. First dip of the day. Oh gosh.
Still kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a little chilly, but it feels kind of good. That's it, I guess. Birds. Where are they, birds? Oh boy. Yeah. No, no, no.
I'm in my element right now. Loving it.
It's too cold.
Feels good.
It's too cold. The sun's not even out. Look. No sun. Oh boy. Still not used to it, but getting there. Alright guys, breakfast for champions. We got a little sandwich, the pasta Faz made, and we got some little chips here. But yeah, so this is all everything Faz made. And we found a bench. There's like an actual bench here. But I guess they're doing construction. This used to be all open and you used to be able to go down, but I think the hurricanes kind of messed with it. But yeah, we found a little bench to eat, so we're gonna eat.
You know.
Alright, so that's gonna do it for us today on this vlog. We just got back home, took a shower and just kind of like freshened up after the beach. It ended up being actually a pretty good day. It was a little chilly. It wasn't chilly, but it was downcasted, but
we got pretty lucky because like from the weather we've been having this week, like in the 90, 97.
Yeah.
Today was like, I would say maybe 80s, maybe like high 70s.
Yeah, it was really nice.
We got really lucky, so. Tide
was kind of high, so we weren't able to park on the beach, but that's okay. We found the parking lot. It's $20 for the day, so if you do come, you need $20 cash. If you use a card, they do charge like the tax on it, so it's $20.06. The machines take exact cash, so they're not gonna give you change.
No, and they charge the same for like if you're on the beach or if you're in the parking lot. So
yeah, but I think the ticket you get can be used on the beach as well. So if you park on the like the hard top, they'll let you park on the beach as well, and vice versa. I think so. I don't know. Don't quote me on it. I didn't try.
Yeah, I think you can. But also, you might want to keep in mind if you're coming to the beach early, like around, when was it, 10 we got there?
Yeah.
High tide's there, so they're probably going to close the park.
10 a.m. in summer. Like, it's going to start getting high tide earlier. But yeah, so it would end up being pretty good. A good Mother's Day. I think both our moms enjoyed it. Had dinner on Friday for one, then yesterday had lunch at Memories of India. If you've never been there, I do highly suggest going there. It's in Lake Mary. It's pretty good Indian food. It's South Indian. Maybe next time I go, we'll be able to get a little more video on it.
I'll put some clips in, like
of our food
in the video, just of our food.
Yeah, but if you're looking for some good vindaloo and some southern Indian dishes,
chicken tikka masala, things like that.
Yep. Tastes good. And then today we ended up at the beach, and I think that was a good day. And I appreciate it if you guys made it this far in the vlog. This is our first time doing like a, like a weekend kind of vlog, and hope you guys liked it. If not, let us know. If you did like it, hit the thumbs up, and we'll try to do more of these.
Yeah, and if you did get to the end of the vlog, if you can type in the word beach in the comments, then we'll know you got to the end of the vlog. I appreciate that. So.
Yep. Yeah. So that's gonna do it for us this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it, and like, subscribe, follow us, and we'll see you on the next 5.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.